As we kick off Black History Month, it's important that we highlight our very own Black educators. It's Black Lives Matter at School Week, and the students, faculty, and staff here at the Howard School of Education are doing their part for the cause. Here's what they have to say.
Black Lives Matter at School Week is a national coalition made up of educators, students, and community organizations where they fight to ensure that racial justice is taught in America.
And as a future educator, what are some things you'll do in the classroom to ensure that the needs of Black and brown children are met?
Well, as a visual learner myself and a visual teacher, I like to have the walls decorated with a whole bunch of historically Black figures and artists and I guess athletes, so the children are exposed to many influences in their life that are Black, not only in school, not only in education, but also in their everyday life.
My name is Alexandra Allen. I am a junior elementary education major, Afro-American Studies minor from Atlanta, Georgia. My favorite book would probably be The Bluest Eye by Toni Morrison. And I think it's just because growing up, I kind of identified with what Pecola went through during the book.
In my class today, in my children's lit class, I read this book to them to kick off Black History Month, but also in recognition of Black Lives Matter at School Week. And this book tells the story about where Black people are from. And oftentimes we trace our history to some part of the United States. And for me, that would be Alabama. But this book by Nicole Hannah-Jones illustrates to us that in most cases, our ancestry can be traced to Africa and that we didn't start here in the U.S. And I think that's an important point to be made, and it is quickly becoming one of my favorite children's books. Incorporate literature that is both inspirational and aspirational.
What does Black Lives Matter at School Week mean to you?
Black Lives Matter at School Week is an opportunity to promote social justice and bring awareness to racial inequity in America. And I also think that this is really important for Black and brown students to be a part of, because especially with critical race theory not being promoted in schooling, these students, they don't really have an understanding of systemic racism and ways they could combat marginalization.
What does Black Lives Matter Week at school mean to you?
As a future educator, Black Lives Matter Week means that we're highlighting our Black students and letting them know that we care about them. Their culture should already be in the curriculum all year long, but I think the week highlights to them what they may not know all the time, that we care about them and that they are important.
And as a future educator, what steps will you take in the classroom to ensure that the needs of Black and brown students are met?
As a future educator, I want to ensure that my classroom is a safe space. I want to have everybody's culture incorporated, including Black children. I think it's important that as a future educator, we're molding children to be well-rounded adults in the future, not only academically successful, but socially and emotionally successful.
But if I have to pick my favorite, it would definitely be a Toni Morrison book, which is Song of Solomon. And I think it was my favorite because it really took you to another place at another time and gave you the experiences that African Americans had in this country a long time ago. I love everything by Toni Morrison.
This week is dedicated to creating actions that make sure that our Black and brown students' needs are being met.
Students, faculty, and staff are doing their part by highlighting Black literature and pledging to ensure that Black and brown students' needs will be met. How will you contribute? I'm Zsana Hoskins for Spotlight Network.